Awareness Month. We're going to learn about it from a panel of experts. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, if you watch this show for any length of time, you know I've done shows in the past about fibroids, and it still becomes this thing that people say, I've heard of it, I'm not sure what it is. And because we're on the eve of Uterine Fibroid Awareness Month, I decided to invite a panel of experts in studio. So we're going to start with my immediate left, Dr. Sharisse Stephenson, then Dr. Elizabeth Coronado, and then Dr. Reddy. Thank you all three for joining me here today.
Thanks for having us.
So let's start with Dr. Stephenson, because you're not just a doctor, you've been a patient.
Yes, so I'm actually a neurologist. I've had my own practice near White Rock Lake for the past 10 years. I'm a headache specialist, but I began suffering from fibroids about 10 years ago, initially when I started to practice. And the only option that was presented to me at the time was an open hysterectomy. But I had just started my practice. I could not take off for 8 weeks. I wasn't having a lot of symptoms. And so I just kind of put it to the side. And the symptoms then started to become more and more apparent. I couldn't walk. I was getting lightheaded, dizzy, felt like I was going to pass out. Bleeding was horrible, embarrassing. I couldn't go anywhere. And by then, they were so problematic. I went to all the different hospital systems, and my case was really too complicated for many of the doctors to even do a hysterectomy. At that point, I was like, I don't care. I'll take off as much time as I need to. And fortunately, one of the gynecologists saw me and didn't feel that he could handle my case surgically, but referred me to Dr. Suzanne Slocum. And she told me that she could help me, and I was so grateful. And I couldn't believe I suffered for all these years. And then it was a 1-hour procedure. I had my procedure last September. I have normal hemoglobin, no bleeding, and all those symptoms have resolved from a simple 1-hour procedure.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. Dr. Coronado, as a gynecological surgeon, do you see this a lot? Are there women who have been suffering for a number of years?
Sure. We see it all the time. And because I specialize in fibroid surgery, I probably see a handful more of it. But it's so liberating when you can help someone with all the different methods that we have to help people with their fibroids after they've been suffering for years or even gotten to a potentially life-threatening state. And I
Sure.
do see that every now and then.
And Dr. Reddy, I think years ago, it was basically kind of an automatic hysterectomy, but medical science has come a long way, hasn't it?
Correct, yes. So as an interventional radiologist, we do fibroid embolization. It's a simple office-based procedure. It takes an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and we do it under anesthesia. Patient is going to be completely asleep. They don't feel any pain or anything. And 1 week is the recovery time compared to surgery. It's much shorter. Mm-hmm. But there might be some patients that need surgery. We cannot do the embolization. So when the patient comes to us, we take into consideration their age, their future fertility plans, the size and location of their fibroids, and then we come up with a plan. We say it could be doing nothing, or it could be doing embolization, or it could be surgery. And if it's surgery, we discuss with a gynecologist. And if they don't have a gynecologist, we send them to experts, Dr. Coronado, and we have other gynecologists. So it's a simple office-based procedure, and it's pretty quick and easy.
And congratulations are in order, because next month is Uterine Fibroid Awareness Month, and we have a little clip. I think this was a presentation done in Dr. Slocum's office. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
and the city of Dallas.
Wow. So proud of you. Thank you very much.
And there was a lot of work that went in behind the scenes. How long have you guys been pushing for that?
So at Fibroid Institute, we started working with the local leaders, representatives, and it took us a year. And we were able to get the bill passed to recognize July as Fibroid Awareness Month in the state of Texas, in Dallas County, and the city of Dallas. There's only 7 other states that recognize, that have a dedicated Fibroid Awareness Month, and we were number 8.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, 9, 8
Wow.
or 9. Yeah.
And I know that COVID really took a toll because a lot of women kind of skipped their appointments. And Dr. Coronado, let's talk about that. If a woman is putting off care, how aggressive is this?
You know, fibroids are tumors
Yes.
of the muscle of the uterus that about half of women have. Not all the women who have fibroids have troublesome symptoms from the fibroids, but they tend to grow usually at a fairly slow pace. Now, some people, I'll walk in the room and say, well, congratulations, you're a pro advanced achiever at growing a fibroid garden, because some people, sounds like you, just grow them faster and bigger. So you put off care for a couple years, something like COVID, and all of a sudden you can find a patient quite anemic, meaning that they've lost a lot more blood than their body's been able to keep up with,
Sure.
and having symptoms like weakness and dizziness that go with that.
And Dr. Stephenson, let's bring you back. From previous shows, I was told that people of color often have a greater incidence of this. Is that true?
It is true. I think almost 90% of women, of African American women, will suffer from fibroids. I know personally every single woman in my family that I know of has fibroids. None were as severely affected as me, but it is very prevalent in African American women.
And when you started suffering symptoms, did you instantly think it's fibroids, or like what did you think it was?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's the problem, because I didn't have pain. I didn't have any pain or cramping. So I thought I was dying. I thought I had cancer. I was at a line dancing event and I couldn't do anything. So I came back to my doctor. I was worried that I had cancer, that I was dying, but I was so anemic. And I didn't realize that the bleeding was so heavy that it was causing me to be so anemic that it felt like I was dying. And I think if I wouldn't have gotten treatment, I think that the outcome could have been bad for me.
Did you say to yourself, I don't want to tell anybody, or what, where were you mentally? Because I know there have to be women who've never shared this with anyone.
No, I'm in my family and I think in a lot of African American women, we kind of know about fibroids. I just don't think that even me as a doctor, I didn't know that fibroids could be so serious on your health. I just thought they were a benign tumor. They can be annoying.
Sure.
But I didn't know that literally they can kill you if you let them get too bad.
Dr. Reddy, let's bring you back in here. I know, gas prices are up. People are, looking for ways to save money. I worry, and I don't know if you do as well, that there will be women who say, well, I can skip an appointment. I can push this till next year. Is that a poor decision to make?
I think, we can't underestimate the financial situation of the patients, but health comes first. And you could, if you have fibroids or you're suffering, you can look at the options in surgery versus embolization and consider whatever is cheaper, whatever is better. And at our facility, we do have payment plans. And if somebody is not able to afford, we could give a discounted cash pay price. And we also have a payment plan that they could choose.
Sure.
Yeah, we do respect the financial situation. We do have patients like that want to postpone or wait until the end of the year and stuff like that. We do respect that.
And Dr. Coronado, how important is it to catch it early?
Well, the earlier we catch it, the more likely the success rate is if we're moving towards surgery of minimally invasive surgery. So robotic surgery is traditionally, or most typically, how minimally invasive surgery is done. And one option is a hysterectomy to remove the whole uterus, but another great option is called a myomectomy to just remove the fibroids. That's good for people who want to retain their fertility and be able to have a baby in the future. And the smaller, the better when it comes to doing I call it big surgery, teeny tiny holes.
And recovery time, is it pretty
Recovery
quick?
time's a couple weeks from the minimally invasive surgeries, and a little bit longer for a hysterectomy. But for people who have kind of a standard job, it's a couple weeks.
Sure. Okay. We have time for kind of a final thought. So I'll start with you, Doc. What would you like to leave everybody with?
You don't have to suffer from fibroids. Go to your doctor, learn about treatment options. There's multiple treatment options. And don't do like what I did and put it off until you're almost dying. Go get treated.
Yeah. And I would say make sure you are your own advocate as a patient. Look at all of the options. I encourage all of my patients to see Dr. Reddy and Dr. Slonim to talk about uterine fibroid embolization. I want to be able to talk to people about minimally invasive surgery. Patients, be an advocate for yourself.
Dr. Reddy?
I agree. So take your health into your hands and you do your own homework, your due diligence, look at other options, and you'll be surprised a lot of times. A lot of patients don't even know. Dr. Stephenson is the best example. So just do your due diligence, look up your options, and when the patient calls us, we direct them in the appropriate way anyway. So.
Outstanding. Well, thank you. I think we've helped a lot of people here today. We're going to end with the website, which is txfam.org. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.